Cardano, ticker code ADA, is the next coin I'll be reviewing today. I think Cardano could be one of those interesting coins that as we go into 2022 and more, we might actually look back and say this might have been a good time to invest into Cardano or ADA. Crypto is obviously going sideways at the moment, a little bit down to be honest, but if you're still sticking around in crypto right now, you might be one of the few who actually make it. This is actually one of the best times to invest in, and I'm going to be increasing my position and just continue DCAing into the market. So I'm going to cover Cardano. Let's just get right into it. I'm the Crypto Diet. I'm currently doing my master's at Monash University. I'm also working full time as well. So if you want to help my channel grow, I'm almost going to get monetized relatively soon. So click the subscribe, hit the like. It really would help me out. I'm always going to be honest in all of my cryptos. I'm not going to be pumping every coin that I make a video on. I'm going to be honest. And you can see even on my playback. It's not to say you always will be this way. Sometimes cryptos are good and they become bad, or sometimes they're bad and they become good. I just look at the chart, I look at the fundamentals, but mainly the chart. I'm more of a chart person, and we'll see how we play out. So this is what I'm looking at with the chart at the moment with Cardano, but let's just touch on Cardano and where it currently sits at the moment. And then we'll come back to the chart and I'll give you my analysis on it. Timestamps below as well if you don't care about the fundamentals. Let's get right into it. So Cardano's actually partnered up with Chainlink, and this actually news came up in September 27th last year. And seeing Cardano continue to make partnerships and getting capital funding and things like that is a good thing to see. It means that there is always smart people doing these sorts of partnerships, and it's just a good claim to look into. Something that's just interesting as well is that if you really believe in Cardano, then Chainlink might be a good pairing to go with it, because these are good cryptos, or these are good projects that are going to be communicating, which means that as Cardano gets more popular, so will Chainlink, and that will increase the adoption for both. We also have the roadmap for Cardano, and we are actually right now on number 4, which is Bashio, which is the scaling part to it. There's also a Hydra, which is meant to be a very, very good layer 2 on Cardano that's going to increase its transaction speeds by, I think something ridiculous, like 3 million transactions per second or something ridiculous like that. And then we'll have governance after this. We don't exactly have dates as of yet with how these projects will go on, but smart contracts was the big one. That was the big one that everyone was waiting. We obviously had the peak of Cardano price going around that time. And as soon as it came, it's just been on a steady decline, and I'll show you on a chart what that looks like. One of the interesting things about Cardano, and that's actually been a talk, is the design language of Cardano, which is Pascal. Now, look, I'm not a designer. I don't develop all these apps and projects and things like that. But from what I've been able to find, Pascal is actually very, very hard to code for. And it seems that this might have been intentional in order to get the cream of the crop developers who are very intelligent, really know what they're doing, and have a passion for the project, and is very into research and research base. Cardano is an ecosystem that really goes all out in terms of launching things correctly when they're ready. And that's a lot of the time why Cardano takes a long time to do these projects and to have these launches, because they really do take their time. They want to launch things correctly. And I can admire that, and I can take my hat off to them and say, good on you. But what I actually want to touch on is this actually had a lot of parallels to when the PlayStation 3 launched. Now, you might say this has nothing to do with gaming, who cares? But I just want you to bear with me while I give my thoughts on this. When the PlayStation 3 first came out, it had the Cell processor on it. And the Cell processor was actually a very, very hard CPU to develop for. In fact, a lot of companies struggled developing games on the PlayStation 3. And when the 360 came out, games just looked and ran better on the Xbox 360. Until people started to really develop and understand the PlayStation 3, the more and more it came as the years went by. And by the end of it, games started to look and run better on the PlayStation 3, and Sony eventually catched up to the Xbox 360 in terms of sales, and actually surpassed it, but towards the end. What I'm trying to say with this story is that we could be seeing Cardano just taking years and years to develop, and it could be an interesting way to see how Cardano moves on. Or Solana might be the one that everyone goes for. And it seems to be two schools of thought. Solana seems to be the more easier, funner ecosystem that's already vibrant at the moment. And Cardano could be the sort of royal, more traditional, more academic layer 1, and that will have a place in this market. But we're not able to see that yet, because Cardano still doesn't really have all those apps that we've been waiting to see. And let's just have a look at Cardano and see how it's going. So it's currently ranked number 7 according to CoinMarketCap, and it has a market cap of 39 billion with a fully diluted market cap of around 53 billion, max supply 45 billion tokens. Currently it's supplied in about 33 billion. So you probably don't have to wait a while. And if they can get to this fully diluted market cap, that could definitely help Cardano out as well. And let's have a look at the numbers compared to Ethereum. So if you're familiar with my channel, you know I like to compare coins to Ethereum. So I go in Coin Codex, compare all the coins to Ethereum value. I set my time frames, and basically I'm just looking for as many green as possible. Now, again, I want to stress this. This can change. We can continue to see more red with any of these coins or more green or vice versa. This just depends how it is, but it's a good way just to initially screen how it goes. So you can see Cardano has actually done very well against Ethereum in the last year, but that was because Cardano was still low on the market cap 1 year ago. So you would have outperformed Ethereum by almost 50%, which is pretty good. Year to date, let's just discard that for now because we're only about 2 weeks into January. So it's only outperformed Ethereum by about, close to 4%, negligible. And then we have the 6 months here, which is down compared to Ethereum. So you actually would have, in the last 6 months, should you have bought Ethereum over Cardano, you would have actually made more profit. 3 months, again, 40%. 1 month, outperformed Ethereum by 20% almost. 7 days, 4%. And last 24 hours, negative 1.6%. So market's going sideways. So that's why you're not seeing much movement in the more lower term frames. But 1 month and 3 to 6 months. These are the time frames you really want to pay attention to because I think that you generally want to keep your cryptos for about 3 to 6 months. And that's when you get most of the gains. And you'll see most of these coins that they do pretty well in the last 3 to 6 months. And Cardano's lost value to Ethereum. So let's have a look at the chart and let's delve in deep into it because I think Cardano has one of the more interesting charts in all of crypto. So let's have a look at Cardano on the 50% fib tool here. So this is the major 50% of Cardano. And I remember looking at this and just being like, wow, this went roaring. And I was very surprised because Cardano actually does very well around our major 50%. But, in November, mid-November, we actually came crashing down and falling below our major 50%. That's this red solid line here, which is about $2.05, call it. And once we broke this, I was like, holy crap, Cardano might be on the low. And because there was no support here that we could see, and it kept breaking down. December 4th happened. We had to hit low where Bitcoin got pummeled. And recently it's done okay. A little bit of downtrend still, but this is one of those stories where Cardano it's still finding support in my opinion. We still haven't been able to find it clearly. Now, if you look at this area here, this is my fib extension tool. And well, we broke past our 50% and look at that. If you look at my fib extension tool, there's the 50% and you can see we just came crashing down very quickly. Bad sign. The 618 mark, a lot of people like to use that clean cut right through on December 3rd. And then again, almost December 4th, another clean cut through. The 1 mark is a very important mark as well. And it seems that we'll be testing this mark. If Cardano breaks its 100% mark, it's not exactly the best look. Look, no one knows what's going to happen with crypto. I always say that, but I would be shocked if Cardano drops below the 1 mark. And by then, the ultimate support would really be, its low from the 20th of July, which would be about $1. So not financial advice, but the low might be in for Cardano. I said that in my last video too, but I ended up being wrong. And that's just the way these things pan out. You can be wrong with your technical analysis. Sometimes you just think that support is there, might be bouncing off support, and then clean cut right through support. Same thing with resistance. It can happen. But at the moment, we don't have much volume coming in for ADA, and it's been the case for a while. I mean, we had an all right volume on the 2nd of December, but just bad timing on the 4th. So I'm really interested to see how we're going to go on the 1 mark, on the 100% extension tool at $1.08, call it. If we bounce off there, then Cardano might have just found its support. But what I like about Cardano right now is that although we are bleeding out, a lot of cryptocurrencies are actually going pretty heavily down compared to Cardano. So again, if you look at it, only down about 2.4% in the last day, it's negligible. A lot of other cryptos are bleeding out a lot more heavily than Cardano. So it looks like ADA might start having a little bit of support building towards here. But again, my eyes are on that 1 mark. And if that breaks, then my ultimate support is really the low we made on the 5th of July, which is right there, or call it on the 21st of June. And again, call it about $1. If it goes below there, then hands are off. We don't know how low we're going to go. We'll probably even have to start looking towards February, January last year, which is just a really bad look for Cardano. The only good thing about Cardano is, like I said, the future of the ecosystem. We don't really know how it's going to evolve. It's still a very new area, but it might have something like Solana. It might have NFTs, even though they are, but I'm talking about the vibrancy of it. Will it have that community roaring behind it? And it might. And if you do, Cardano could be one of those market caps that is, look, it's 160% away from its all-time high. So this could be one of those coins that you want to hold. If you are a long-term holder, Cardano might be a good opportunity. Again, not financial advice, I want to stress that, but it's just so low from its all-time high, and it has a lot of resistance barriers to go through. And that's really the problem when you look at coins that you're picking from its all-time high. I know some YouTubers do that where they'll say, oh my God, we're so far in its all-time high, but you're not thinking how many resistance walls you have to break through to get there. So you have to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you might be getting there. But it's very, very difficult for a coin when it's bleeded out this hard to get back to its all-time high. So be wary. Look, Cardano, maybe a small position. I think there's better cryptos in the market right now, but Cardano could be one of those really, really good buys, but long term. I'm talking like a year plus. So if that's in your mind, might be a good pickup. But this is one of those coins that has a long way to go. And if we look at our RSI tool, came from 30. If you're looking for short-term profit targets for Cardano, we can see on the last time we hit 70 on our RSI was on the 4th of September. So you'd be looking at a while. 80 on the RSI gives you $2.53, which again is about 123% from where it is. So it just has a very long way to go, and we'll see what happens. The only good news about Cardano is that if it starts getting its community behind it, if it starts getting its NFTs and really awesome layer ones and awesome apps, then we really could see something. But it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. I'm not going to mince my words on that one. It's going to be a long time in development for Cardano. So it's a good chart to keep into, bookmark, see how things play out for the next couple of days. The only reason why I like Cardano is it might look like support is in, well, other cryptocurrencies, we don't really know how their support's going at the moment. I'll do some videos on some other cryptos and see how they're going with the support, but Cardano looks like the support might be in and might be a safe time to go in. And even if it goes against you, I don't think it's going to go against you too much more than, say, about 15%. So it's that risk to reward ratio that makes Cardano a bit more appealing compared to other cryptos. And of course, it's upside. But like I said, you have a lot of resistance barriers to go through and to prove itself. And that's going to take a long time to push through all of these resistance barriers. That's going to do it for this video. I hope this helped. If it did, again, like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, and I will see you tomorrow.